Thank you for your remarks, and wanted to thank to Chamil on his sincere words, and to add only three things. Chamil was mentioning 100 years long history of our clashes and fights in the Western Balkans. And he is right, from the first, second Balkan Wars, then the First World War. And there is something that you should know, because when we speak about Srebrenica, not only Srebrenica, about that entire region close to River Drina, actually Serbs and Bosniaks, we didn't exchange any single POW during those 100 years. We used to exchange only dead bodies, only corpse. Not a single POW. It's a terrible hatred that was spread among all of us, and I'm very much afraid there is a very fertile ground for that in the future. I'm not that optimistic, sorry to say that, but I can only say to you what I said to my people, and then I'm going to refer once again to that lose-lose situation for me. At least I'll do my best as a Prime Minister. Today we do have a full legitimacy that we got from our people. But still, it's not all up to us. But we'll do our best to secure the peace and stability, which is very important for an entire world, not only for that part of Europe. Also wanted to say that it was not easy for me to come here, because it was highly criticized weeks and days before I went to US, because President Clinton was organizing this very important event to me. And you know that he was the President of the United States during that NATO bombardment in 1999. And all people of Serbia would say, well, why are you going there? No, I said to them, but you need to speak to someone. They want us to have US as an opponent or as an enemies once again, or what? We need to speak to all the people. And I can tell you, and you should believe me, today in Bosnia you have two different thinking, two different approaches. One is among the Bosniaks, which is, okay, we have 1.7, 1.8 million of Bosniaks, and there are 1.2 million of Serbs. We are stronger than Serbs. We can kick their asses out. And that's something you're going to hear every single day. If you go to the Serb places, you're going to hear every single day, okay, well, yes, there are 1.2 million of us, 1.8 million of Bosniaks, but there are 7, 8 million of Serbs in Serbia. We are stronger than them. We can beat them, once again. And that's something that brings us to the terrible position in which you cannot explain anything to anybody. And this is the reality. Sorry to say that. This is the reality. And that's why I was insisting to make as many as it is possible meetings, arrangements, agreements, whatever we needed with Bosniak side. I do advocate very firmly conversation, talks between Serbs and Bosniaks, because we can't survive without each other. We'll have to live together, not beside each other. We'll have to live together in 100 years, in 200 years. And that's what I'm saying, not here in New York. That's what I'm saying in Belgrade. Not in Sarajevo, where people would like to hear it. I'm saying that in Belgrade. I'm saying that to my constituency, which might not like it always. But I firmly believe in that. And people have to understand that. If we choose some different future, there won't be any future for Serbs and Bosniaks. And I'm pretty much aware of that, and that's why I always condemn all the stupid statements, which I gave up plenty of them 20 and 25 and 30 years ago, but not in the last 5 years. I'm just an ordinary man, not better than all the others. I'm not a Superman that didn't make any mistakes. I hate those people that would always say that they didn't make any mistakes. I did them a lot, and not ashamed to say that. Yes. But just wanted to say many thanks to the organizers, many thanks to Chamil, and I'm grateful that Bakir is here, and see that Zlatko is here as well, and always be profoundly grateful to make my contribution to preserve the peace in the Balkans. Thank you once again. I have to say, of course, and I'll be very frank, as always, I might say, it's a lose-lose political situation for me. It's very difficult to make any comments even on political conclusions that Advija Ibrahimović made about a terrible story that she was saying to you, and which is true. And I won't comment on her political conclusions. Just wanted to say that, yes, I am a Serb, a proud Serb, proud to be a Serbian Prime Minister, and I went to Srebrenica to pay respect to all the victims of that terrible crime committed in 1995, was attacked by most of the people that were present there. And to tell you the truth, was not afraid at all, didn't bow my head, not for a single moment. Because I felt well, because I had a very clear conscience, wanted to say that we do recognize the pain of Bosniak people, that we wanted to change something, and we did our best, at least in Serbia, to prosecute, to chase those guys that were participating in that terrible massacre, in that terrible crime that happened in Srebrenica in 1995. And I think that in the last 1.5 years, at least, we arrested 16 of those guys that were involved into that terrible crime. I wanted to add something else. Was able at that time to speak to Chamil Duraković, will always be able to speak to him. And we'll do our best to keep the peace and stability in the region, which is not easy at all. It's even more difficult today than it was last year, than it was 20 years ago. And it's becoming more and more difficult. And to tell you the truth, there are similar stories on the other side. There are a lot of Serbs that can say the same stories. I don't want to make any comparisons. I would like to see all the criminals getting their justice, bringing them to justice, which is something of the biggest significance for the reconciliation process and for the peace and stability in the Balkans. Just wanted to tell you that we'll have to invest a lot of our courage. Atmosphere is not good at all, and I hope that we'll have, in a way, sorry to say that, much more objective approach, and that we'll all be able to acknowledge and to accept our not only mistakes, but terrible things we did. And then I'm sure that all together we'll be able to overcome all the difficulties. Regarding my country, regarding Serbia, we'll do our best to preserve the stability, to preserve the peace, and Chamil knows that he can count on that. Even after your visit, Mr. President, and our joint visit to Srebrenica, I went there once again. It was a big donation conference for Srebrenica, and the government of Serbia obligated itself to pay 5 million euros, and we have already paid 2 million euros and 3 million euros for the roads and all the other infrastructural projects. I think One out of those projects is a kindergarten for both Bosniak and Serb kids, one bridge in one village, and I don't know exactly what's the third project. And to tell you the truth, among all the others that were present at that donation conference, I think that we were the only one that actually delivered what we promised. If Chamal would like to be absolutely sincere. And I'm proud to say that, because it would be detrimental for both Serbs and Bosniaks. I'm finishing by that introduction with the words that we need each other. Otherwise, we'll face disaster, both Serbs and Bosniaks. And there are no winners. And there should not be humiliated sides in the future. We need to work together. We need to live together. Otherwise, I'm very much afraid of the future of the Western Balkans once again. Thank you very much for having us here.